were very targeted and surgical. It wasn't actually reshoots. It was sort of an additional. It was kind of a coda. And we were really grateful to be able to do that because it felt like it allowed to take a natural ending and sort of give it a series ending on top of it.
Hi.
Hey, John, how are you?
Well, how are you, Alex and Michelle? Thank you so much for talking to me. Thank you for Discovery. Thank you for, Alex, thank you for Star Trek.
Well, I wish I could say it was mine, but it ain't.
Well, let's just talk about a little bit of Discovery. Season 5 is an epic treasure hunt, but it also kind of ties a little bit back to the 24th century a little bit. Can you talk a little bit about that and just like the decision-making process and how cool that was?
Yeah, it's really cool to get to go back there. I assume that this will come out after the premiere, so we're not spoiling anything. But yeah, The Chase has been an episode that had stuck with a lot of us because of the thematics of that episode and the ideas that it explores. And for me anyway, it left me with so many questions. And so when we were thinking about an epic adventure for this season, that was, of course, the thing that came to mind. And using this season to kind of go back there and say, well, what happened after that became a really great jumping off point.
As a quick detour, Alex, can I ask about how Section 31 and Starfleet Academy are coming along?
They're coming along great. We're in the middle of shooting Section 31, and we're about halfway through the writer's room on Starfleet Academy, and we start shooting at the end of the summer.
Discovery is such a cosmic show, big ideas, big concepts, big problems. But when I think about the show, I think about relationships. Burnham and Book and Saru and Sharina, Mal and Locke. Tell me about balancing Star Trek with these big ideas and then all these love stories going on the ship.
I'm glad to hear that because we start every season with the characters. You know, we're always going to have the big ideas, the big themes, but it always comes down to the characters and their relationships and how are they growing individually, how are they growing in their relationships, how are they growing as a family unit, as a team. So that's always at the heart of everything we do. And using that as the starting place, that's where we can get into the bigger thematic ideas, the big bad guys of the season, whatever that may be. But it really is the characters we know that we latch onto and that we know our audience latches onto. And so that's always where we start.
Now, there were reshoots to create an epilogue for the season 5 finale. Can you talk a little bit about that and like the challenge of creating a capstone for the whole series?
I mean, what was so interesting was that the season had really kind of come to a beautiful conclusion. And Michelle and I looked at each other when we knew that it was going to be the last season and went, wow, I don't know that we could have necessarily planned it better for a final season. Now what we really need to do is just put, the cherry on top of the cake. We were able to do 3 days that were very targeted and surgical. It wasn't actually reshoots. It was sort of an additional. It was kind of a coda. We were really grateful to be able to do that because it felt like it allowed to take a natural ending and sort of give it a series ending on top of it.
And just one last question really quick. What would you say the legacy of Star Trek Discovery is?
I think modern Star Trek. And without Discovery, there would be no modern Star Trek. It opened the door for every show that came after it. It opened the door for Picard, Lower Decks, Strange New Worlds, Prodigy, Starfleet Academy, Section 31, and everything that's going to come after that. So I think it really kicked the door down for a new era.
Well, thank you guys for doing that. Thank you for everything. I cannot wait to see the rest of season 5. Thanks for speaking to me.
Thank you so much.
Bye,
John.